aggressive about it.
Yes, people, what's happening? Welcome back to the channel and welcome to another live stream and welcome to all your latest Chelsea transfer news. Big up to everyone that's already locked in. Make sure you're smashing up the like button, subscribe if you're new around here. And as always, make sure you get involved in the chat, guys. First things first, plenty to dive into as always, chat. We've got the latest on the future of Josh Acheampong with a report yesterday saying Borussia Dortmund are interested in a move. And clubs think he could be available for 35 million. Obviously, shut down very quickly by Chelsea that he's not for sale. But we're going to dive into that. We've got the latest on the future of Nicolas Jackson, who reportedly has no intention of leaving Chelsea anytime soon. After what feels like months of negotiations, Chelsea are now ready to meet Borussia Dortmund's demands and pay £55 million for Jamie Gittens. We've got the latest on that deal. And lots of other little bits and pieces. Axel Disasi attracting interest from Juventus. Marseille potentially in for Benoit Badiashile. So, yeah, lots to dive into, chat. Lots to dive into. And, of course, we play Benfica in the last 16 of the Club World Cup tomorrow night. So there we go, chat. Anyway, before we dive into it, again, a quick reminder, check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description. The Chelsea away shirt arrived at my front door this morning. It is legit. Stuff turns up, chat. It's no scam. I don't do that sort of shit. 20% off using code BLUEBROTHER. Look fresh in the Chelsea home shirt, the Chelsea away kit, whatever it is, guys. 20% off, great quality, affordable prices. Make sure you check out Jerseys FC Soccer Shop. Link is in the description. 20% off using code BLUEBROTHER. Look fresh in the home shirt or the away shirt throughout the summer and into the new season. Now, before we get this show on the road, let's say hello to some of you lot in the chat, and then we're going to get cracking. Acheampong not for sale. Yeah, I wouldn't say, it's all very well saying he's not for sale. If an actual offer comes in of £35 million, I think the conversation could potentially be very different. Yes, big up, bro. Anthony Fernandez masterclass against Benfica. Let's hope so. Yes, big up, big up. Hope you're doing well. Yes, big up, bro. Will I do a watch along for Chelsea Benfica? Yes, potentially. Who do you expect to start for Chelsea? I think we'll go strongest team. It'll go strongest team. So I don't think there'll be any surprises in the starting 11 at all for this one. Acheampong Academy players not for sale. Financial stability. Well, we'll wait and see. Yes, big up, brother, big up. Hope you're doing well. But let's start things off with that Acheampong stuff then, because there was next to no news yesterday whatsoever. And then we get this report from The Independent and Miguel Delaney. And Miguel Delaney has been trying to sell Acheampong for the last couple of years. He was doing stories last summer with links to Newcastle, links to PSG, links to Real Madrid. Anything about Josh Acheampong's future seems to be a Miguel Delaney written article. I'm not sure if he's on some sort of commission from The Independent to publish these Acheampong articles. I've got no idea, chat. But he seems to be the only one that comes through with them. Anyway, Borussia Dortmund are exploring a deal for Josh Acheampong. There is now a belief among suitor clubs that Chelsea may be willing to do business for £35 million. Of course, £35 million would be pure profit, but let's read this anyway. Dortmund are exploring a deal for Chelsea's Josh Acheampong, and they're among a number of clubs monitoring his situation. The 19-year-old has been seen by the Stamford Bridge hierarchy as a prospect for the future, but the defender is known to want more first-team opportunities in order to progress. There is now a belief among suitor clubs that Chelsea may be willing to do business for £35 million, having previously rejected approaches, including loans. Dortmund have escalated their own interest and are willing to act this summer. If they do, there's an expectation that Inter could also come in. Tottenham and Newcastle were also among those interested from the Premier League. While it has been thought a loan could suit all parties, Chelsea have rejected such offers. Amid another summer of PSR churn, though, there is now a feeling Chelsea could particularly be open to a deal if it involves a club who have a player they want. That could open the way for Dortmund, given Chelsea's long-standing interest in Gittens. So, yeah, look, obviously, after that came out, rightfully, there was a lot of issues with Chelsea fans against that, and rightfully so, given the fact that we, stopped Acheampong from playing for the club until he signed a new deal. He signed a new deal, 5-year contract, in December last year. Had opportunities in the first team, not as many as maybe we expected towards the back end of the campaign, but he still had some. And it's clear to me, chat, that whilst Malo Gusto, in general terms, is a better right back than Josh Acheampong, in terms of the system. Oh, and of course, chat, we got more news on Emi Martinez as well, with Chelsea apparently wanting him to be the number one goalkeeper. Let's wait and see what happens on that. We'll get to that in a sec. Anyway, what I'm getting at is, objectively speaking, Malo Gusto is a better right back than Josh Acheampong. However, in terms of how Enzo Maresca plays, no overlapping fullback, inverting into midfield, Josh Acheampong is a far, far better player for the Maresca system at right back. In theory, Acheampong should be the rotational option for Reece James at right back. He can convert into midfield. He's comfortable on the ball in midfield. He's a much better passer than Malo Gusto. He's much better ball carriers, or the way that he drives forward. He's comfortable in the midfield. He's comfortable on the ball. And ultimately, yes, he's technically third choice at this point in time. But if we're being real, chat, in an Enzo Maresca system, he's much better suited for it and a much better player than Malo Gusto in said system. Now, I like Gusto. We've seen what Gusto's about, but the situation doesn't, the system does not allow us to get the best out of Malo Gusto. Not to mention, he seemed to have completely forgotten how to defend. And so really, I look at this and I think, yeah, this guy should be for second choice next season, should be backup. Whether he is or not, I don't know. And look, when you're at the age that Acheampong's at, 19, 20 years old, you need to be playing regular football to continue your development, to make sure you don't stagnate. Now, I would have said a loan for Josh would have made more sense, because we haven't got those Conference League minutes to give him. It's going to be Champions League, and I don't think he's going to get an awful lot of minutes in that competition. In the Premier League, it's going to be Reece James for most of the time, providing he stays fit. So I'm looking at this from an Acheampong perspective, and I'm thinking, where are my regular minutes coming from at Chelsea that I deserve? Because he deserves to have a decent chunk of minutes at the club next season for the reasons that we've spoken about. But you've obviously got the Malo Gusto conundrum, where Gusto, rightly or wrongly, is ahead of Acheampong in the pecking order. Acheampong is effectively third choice right back at Chelsea. He's effectively third choice right back. And he's better than that. He's better than that. And he should be the third choice. He should be the backup option to Reece James, because he suits the system so much better. But anyway, so after this report came out, a couple of, within the hour or so, straight away, club briefing, clearly, with Romano, Kieran Gill, Ben Jacobs, all saying the same thing. All saying the same, excuse me, chat, all saying the same thing. Chelsea maintain their position on Josh Acheampong. No intention to sell the player this summer. New contract was agreed a few months ago, and he's seen as a key part of the project, despite interest from several clubs. Now, we've seen Chelsea turn down big money for Levi Colwill. You know, I'm sure there may well have been approaches. I'm sure there's been approaches for Acheampong. I'm sure there's been approaches maybe for Reece James, you know, and I'm sure there's interest, and there's been approaches for Malo Gusto as well. I'm sure we've seen all that sort of stuff. And Acheampong should stay. However, it's all very well saying he's not for sale. If an offer of £35 million came in, and it was from Borussia Dortmund, and it helped us maybe get a slightly cheaper deal for Jamie Gittens, and you'd see it as one of those unofficial PSR swap deals like we did with the Martin Kellyman thing and whatnot. Like, you can see that happening. You can see that happening. You could easily see that happening, chat. I'm not saying it's going to happen, but you could see it happening. And it's very easy to say someone is not for sale. But at the same time, money talks. Money does talk. And if that offer were to come on the table, then I think the stance could be very different. I think the stance could be very different. I really do believe that. I really do believe the stance could be different if money comes in. Now, he needs to play regularly. He's a great talent. He's got great ability controlling the ball. You know, great ball carrier. Drives forward really nicely. Comfortable in midfield. You know, he's pretty tall as well. You know, he's great. He's got good 1v1 ability as well. Picks up runs also. He's young. He's definitely going to improve, but he needs to be given the opportunities. What opportunities is he going to realistically get at Chelsea next season? That would be the big thing for me. That would be the big thing for me, because there's not going to be, there should be, but there's not going to be a lot of opportunities, in my opinion, in the Premier League or the Champions League for Josh. FA Cup and Carabao Cup, absolutely. And he should be getting more opportunities, by the way. He should, because he suits the system better, as I was saying. But I just know, because we've seen how this plays out before, chat, I just know that if the opportunity presents itself, £35 million offer comes in, I think there's a very high chance Chelsea would accept that. Now, whether Josh actually wants to leave is a separate question. He's a quality player, especially for his age. 5 years down the line, we would regret selling him. We would. This is the plan. Gusto's not going to Strasbourg. Joke. Yeah, I mean, yeah. No, I'm not trying to sell him at all. I'm not trying to sell him at all. However, all I'm saying is that for me personally, a loan deal would make more sense. If, as part of the Gittens, this is just purely hypothetical, chat, but if, as part of the Gittens deal, right, the stipulation was Acheampong needs to go on loan to Dortmund for a season, I wouldn't have that much of an issue with that. Because if he's going to play week in, week out at Borussia Dortmund for a season loan, I think I don't look at that as a bad thing. I wouldn't look at that as a bad thing. Excuse me. I wouldn't look at it as a bad thing at all. I think that's going to be very, very interesting. I think it's going to be very interesting to see what Chelsea decide to do with Acheampong, because they obviously, to get him to sign a new contract, you know, they've obviously proven, or they've convinced him that there's some sort of pathway. Yeah, Gusto, objectively speaking, is a better right back than Josh. But I've said all along, in terms of the system we play, Acheampong is better suited to the system. He's better suited to the system. If you're speaking about who is a better right back, then yes, obviously, Gusto is a better right back at this point. You know, bro, a lot of those were Conference League minutes, and we haven't got the Conference League next season to fall back on. He won't get those same minutes that he was getting in the Conference League in the Champions League. He's not going to get those minutes in that competition. I mean, look, Gusto was okay, but again, you know, defensively, I think I look at him as a bit of a liability. I can't lie, chat. Defensively, I do look at him as a little bit of a liability. We have to be real here. We have to be real here. Yes, big up, brother. Big up. I love it. Love it. No, I appreciate you, brother. I appreciate you. Big up to all the Chelsea fans out in Kentucky, the home of KFC, of course. But yeah, big love. There's no, I presume there's no Club World Cup games in Kentucky. By the way, is Kentucky a state? Or is Kentucky Fuck, is Kentucky a state? My US geography should be better than that. Is Kentucky a state or is Kentucky a place in a state? Fuck, I should know that. Is Kentucky a state? Yes, Kentucky is a state. Fair enough. It borders Illinois and Indiana. There we go. So Kentucky is a state. Anyway, big up to all the Kentucky Chelsea fans. Acheampong still needs to develop. He should join Dortmund on loan. Yeah, look, I wouldn't have a huge issue with the Dortmund loan for Acheampong. It's just obviously if Malo Gusto or James were to get injured, you're suddenly then down to one right back, and it's a potential issue. That's the problem. That's the problem that I have with it, chap. No, bro. Kentucky's not in Tennessee. Kentucky's its own state. Gusto has never been a better right back than Josh, bro. That's not true. That's not true. We know how good Gusto can be when we've seen him play a state of the Commonwealth. Fair. There we go. You never know what you're going to learn on YouTube these days, chap. You know, come on to talk transfers, and I'm finding out about the history of Kentucky, the home of KFC and a state of the Commonwealth. There we go. Yes, bro, I'm going to get to that. We're going to get to that shortly. Yeah, I mean, look, you could easily see it. You could see it now, right? Josh goes on loan to Dortmund. We have fitness issues with Reece James next season, potentially, which I hope we don't, but can't be fully ruled out. And then he has to be recalled in January. Maybe that does happen. But yeah, as things stand, chat, Acheampong reportedly going nowhere. And we wait and see. We wait and see what happens on that one. But again, if an offer comes in, you know, it's all very well saying someone's not for sale and coming out to shut that stuff down very quickly. When you've got the money on the table, then the reality of the situation becomes very, very different. The reality of the situation becomes very different, chat. So, yeah, I don't know what to expect from it. He does look ready. I agree. I don't think he's not ready, but we've not seen a lot of him in the Premier League. We've not seen a lot of him in the Premier League. That would be my only thing. He started 2 Premier League games, and he looks decent at centre back against Palace, and I thought he actually did well at Bournemouth. To be fair, I thought he actually done well against Bournemouth. But ultimately, chat, the most we've seen of him is in the Conference League, and he's looked good at that level. And I think he can step up and perform at Premier League level. But we're never going to know that unless he gets regular minutes. And unfortunately for Josh, if Reece stays fit, yes, we're going to play a lot of games in Acheampong. If he was the backup option, would get a lot of minutes. But as things stand, I see Gusto being used as the backup option. But if we don't sign another left-back, chat, you could easily see it where Gusto becomes an option on the left-hand side as an alternative to Cucurella. So, yeah, I don't know. I mean, he could be. I mean, we shouldn't be doing that. But look, he absolutely could be. He absolutely could be. There's no doubt about it. He could be used in a Gittens deal. I don't think he will, because there's not really been any mention of that from anyone credible. So we'll see. Agree with you. Benfica won against Bayern. That says a lot. Yes. He can play centre-back if needed. He can. He can play centre-back if needed, but I don't think we're going to need him at centre-back. Who's he playing ahead of at centre-back? He isn't. Plus, Mamadou Sarr has just come in as well, same age, and is an actual centre-back. So unless there's a lot of injuries, I don't see Josh Acheampong playing an awful lot of centre-back next season at all. Yeah, of course he still needs to develop. Of course he does. Well, look, James is doing a lot better now in terms of his fitness. You know, I think potentially those issues maybe, hopefully, are behind him now. That's what we've got to hope for, chat. That those issues are absolutely behind Reece at this point in time. I know it's not ideal, but can still play there if absolutely. Yeah, obviously in an emergency, if absolutely needed, yes, of course. So let's wait and see what happens on the Acheampong stuff, chat. Acheampong to Dortmund wouldn't be the worst loan move in the world, but I think we potentially would regret it given that given that Gusto just don't suit the system, chat. Given that Gusto doesn't suit the system. So, yeah, let's wait and see on that one, chat. Let's wait and see on that one. We'll wait and see. But let's move away from from Josh Acheampong, chat, to another player who's Gusto is better. I always said Gusto out and out if you're playing overlapping fullbacks, Gusto is better. I think he's better in the final third. He gets forward better. However, I've always said that in this system, Gusto is not comfortable carrying the ball. He's not comfortable with the ball in midfield, and his passing doesn't seem to be that great. But in terms of if we're playing an overlapping fullback, like we saw in that season under Pochettino, then Gusto is a very, very good option. People also forget that Gusto is still very, very young, chat. Gusto is still very, very young. But let's move away from that. And we're going to go from one player who hopefully isn't leaving Chelsea to, in my opinion, another one who hopefully isn't leaving, but some of you will want him to leave. Nicolas Jackson. And according to Rahman Osman, who has good links, Nicolas Jackson has no intention of leaving Chelsea anytime soon. And this, I'm happy to hear this. Despite what a lot of you lot think in the chat, I think Jackson still has a lot to offer to this Chelsea team. I do like him. I like what he brings. And Chelsea's squad is better with Nico Jackson in it. That's just facts. You know, it's better with Nico. Chelsea's squad is better with Nico Jackson in it. Yes, he needs to work on his discipline and keeping his cool and keeping his head in certain situations. I don't think Jackson's hit his ceiling. I think there is more to come from him. And he's at an interesting point now in his Chelsea career where, for the first time, there's actual genuine competition for his place in Liam Delap. And you'd like to think that competition will spur you on to do better, to hit new heights. Do you know what I'm saying? To hit new heights. So there we go. You know, I really do believe that. Yes, but bro, the problem you're not getting is people just not aware of what sort of transfer business we do. Do you honestly think that if Chelsea sell Nico Jackson, they're gonna get fucking someone loads better? Like if it was sell Jackson and you get Gyökeres, then obviously yes, you would do it. Of course you would. But I think that's what people think is going to happen. You sell Jackson, you're going to get Gyökeres, or Jackson goes, or we're going to go and sign Victor Osimhen. It's like, guys, we've got to live in the real world here with what Chelsea do in their transfer business. And we have to accept that we are not going to upgrade in that position. You know, right now with the business that we've done one piece of business and we've improved. You can get better players, but I wouldn't trust Chelsea to go and get someone better. Have you seen the business that we've done? Delap comes in, and I like Liam Delap, by the way. And I think he's good. But let's be honest, the chances of Chelsea winning serious trophies with those two up front is perhaps slim. Yeah, Delap will start over him in certain games. Absolutely, he will. Absolutely, he will start over in certain games. Absolutely, there's going to be a lot of rotation. And Delap's got an opportunity now to stake his claim. He's got an opportunity to stake his claim, chat. Because if Jackson's suspended, he's going to start against Benfica, and he's going to start against Crystal Palace on the opening day of the season as well. Over 2 seasons, have you seen an improvement in his finishing? At the start of last season, there was definitely improvement in his finishing, for sure. At the start of last season, we saw it. Those 2 goals against West Ham. Over the first half of the season, his finishing definitely improved. Second half, yeah, he missed a lot of chances. Of course he did. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I think, it would be a good option to have a look at. Nico playing a bit wider as a left inside forward with Delap down the middle. That would be a good option to see. And I'm sure that, that could potentially work. Probably Delap. I would say Delap. Yeah, obviously, if you sold Nico, you'd bring someone else in, of course. But given our track record in the market, I think, objectively speaking, it is quite safe to assume they would look to bring in someone worse. They would look to bring in someone worse, and that would be making the squad weaker. Voltemade is going to Bayern Munich. It looks like he's got an agreement on personal terms with Bayern. They just need to agree a fee with Stuttgart now. But I do like him. Is that the same João Pedro that scored the same amount of Premier League goals as Nicolas Jackson last season? That's João Pedro. I like João Pedro, by the way. But as a centre forward, he's not better. He's not better. Yeah, look. Of course, he needs to fix up on the red card situation and that discipline. Of course, he does. There's absolutely no denying that, chat. Of course, he needs to fix up on that. Of course, he does. No one's disputing that. No one's disputing that at all. Yeah, but João Pedro wouldn't be coming in as a striker. João Pedro would come in as a versatile forward who can play 10, can play wide, can play down the middle if needed. He would be coming in as a versatile forward. And this versatile forward would end up being your third option as a number 9. That's the reality. Mark Guiu, people talk about Mark Guiu. The only reason Mark Guiu's at Chelsea is because he had a £5 million release clause. He'll go on loan. He'll go on loan, and then we'll see what happens from there. But the chances of Mark Guiu, yeah, but bro, the key words here are could have. It didn't in the end. Yes, he put the team in a difficult position, let his teammates down, let the fans down, all that sort of thing. But again, could have. It didn't in the end, And so that point there is a little bit irrelevant now. A little bit irrelevant. And I was saying this in the video with Blue Lions TV yesterday, that all our stuff at the moment is either a sideways move. Is all of our transfer business right now, sort of outside of the lap, all of our business at the moment and the players we're linked with is at best a sideways movement, but in reality, we're just kind of standing still. We're not really moving forward. Gittens will come in eventually to replace Jadon Sancho. Is that an improvement? Only time will tell. You'd like to hope so, but only time will tell if that's an improvement. And then there's not really been any links to anyone else. You'd like to think that an Ekitike, a Pedro, or a Kudos will be better than Nkunku or Felix. You would absolutely like to think that. And I think that can be the case. Yeah, and competition for Jackson is going to be great. And I'm looking forward to seeing the dynamic next season between Delap and I'm looking forward to seeing the competition between Delap and Jackson. I think that's going to be a fascinating battle for that shirt. Yeah, and he's not done badly, chat. He's not done badly. And he should be a rotation level striker. He hasn't done badly at all. And so if your number 2 striker is getting you 14 goals in your first season and 10 in your second in the league, for a rotational striker, that isn't bad, chat. That's not bad. Yeah, all those people that wanted Enzo sold have gone very, very quiet, haven't they? Where are you? Where are you? The Enzo haters, where are you? All gone very quiet. And I'm hoping that Nico Jackson is going to have a good season next season. We know Chelsea want big money for him. We know that Italian clubs, according to Fabrizio Romano, can't really afford to offer more than £40 million for him. And yeah, that 40 million is not going to run with us. It's not going to run. We're going to want way more than 40 M's for him. Way more. So yeah, it is what it is on this one. Bro, I wouldn't be concerned about players going out. There's plenty of time for that. Although it is a little bit concerning that there's not really been any update at all in regards to outgoings. There's been very minimal links. Obviously, Kepa's gone to Arsenal, but that's kind of about it. But chat, 186 in the building. Make sure you keep smashing that like button. 67 likes. Let's get this up to 100. 30 more likes required, chat. Run it up, run it up. Keep smashing the like button. Let's make sure that we get there. So yeah, smash the likes and keep subscribing if you're new around here. Road to 20k. All support is greatly appreciated. Improvements getting Hato, new keeper, winger, and another top striker. I hear you. Yeah, we've already made more money from the Club World Cup than Liam Delap cost. So I suppose that's a bonus in that respective. Why don't you just use 20 million of that 35 million that you've already made from the Club World Cup? Go and put that on Milan's table and get Mike Maignan through the door. This is what I don't understand. And this is what I don't understand, chat. But anyway, that's the latest on Nico Jackson. As suspected, he's got no intention of leaving Chelsea. And I'm 99% sure that Nico Jackson will be at Chelsea next season, chat. I'm 99% sure of it. So there we go. Let's move away from the Nico Jackson stuff, because actually now, chat, we've got some interesting news in regards to Emi Martinez. Now, this was from, I think this is some sort of Argentinian or Spanish publication, but it's been backed up by Tom Colomos, who is a respondent for the Daily Mail. So let's start with this one. So Chelsea wants Emi Martinez as their starting goalkeeper, and Enzo Maresca has asked. Willy Caballero has also given the go-ahead. The player wants to stay in England, so it's an option for Chelsea. So Emi Martinez an option for Chelsea, according to that report. And then we've had a bit more news. And we've also got news on Morgan Rogers, chat, as well. So that's that on Martinez. And then we've got Chelsea and Man United have received encouragement from the camp of Emi Martinez. What I don't understand is, chat, why would Chelsea potentially go and sign Emi Martinez, who's older than Mike Maignan? That's what I'm not getting. How old is Emi Martinez? Let me have a quick look at how old Emi Martinez is. So yeah, chat, Emi Martinez is 32. So he's 2 to 3 years older than Mike Maignan. I like Martinez, but last season you saw him make a number of errors and his form his form definitely dropped off. Martinez is not a free agent, brother. He's got about 4 years left on his contract. He only signed a new contract, I think, last summer, potentially. I think he signed a new contract last summer, chat. I mean, look, Emi Martinez is better than Robert Sanchez. I think that's safe to say. But, yeah, he's not as good as what I was expecting. You know, I think he's potentially on his way down. Potentially on his way down, chat. Potentially on his way down, so we'll wait and see. But, I mean, look, reportedly, Villa want 40 million for him. That's what TalkSport said a few months back. I can't see Chelsea paying anywhere near that. Wouldn't it be typical, right, for Chelsea to not want to spend 20 to 25 mil on Mike Maignan, who's 3 years younger, but they then end up spending, say, 30 million pounds on Emi Martinez, who's 2 to 3 years older? Like, it literally doesn't make any sense, but then you could 100% see the club doing that. This is what I don't understand, chat. This is what I don't understand, chat. I don't get it. Why would you be looking at Emi Martinez, who's 3 years older and he's 32, but you wouldn't go and sign Mike Maignan, who's 29, for a cheaper price? Because Martinez, I can guarantee you now, chat, is going to cost a lot more than fucking Maignan. But even if they cost the same price, though, surely you'd go for someone that's 29 rather than someone that's 32. Am I losing the plot here, chat? Am I losing the plot here, chat? Because this Martinez thing is just... It's just very confusing. We know that we need a new goalkeeper. We know we need a new goalkeeper. Sure, he's got the Premier experience, but, you know, I think for a goalkeeper, that doesn't really matter that much. Are we really saying that we're doubting that Mike Maignan can help, can adjust to the Premier League? Is that what we're saying, that we don't think Maignan can adapt to the Premier League? Surely, chat, that's not what we're saying. That can't be what we're saying, chat. That can't be what we're saying. I just don't get it. You know, you had the perfect opportunity to go and sign a new goalkeeper. You refused to pay a very reasonable asking price, and now you potentially might, and again might, go and sign someone 3 years older for probably either the same or more money. In what world does that make any sense? In what world does that make any sense? It doesn't. It really doesn't. Well, look, again, this is just a couple of reports, so I don't know if it's going to happen, but, you know, I don't get it. I don't get the interest behind that, chat. I really don't. But Maresca wanted Maignan. They told us Maresca wanted Maignan. Now Maresca wants Martinez, and Willy Caballero's approved it as well. Like, what are we doing here? What are we doing here? Sommer was also above 30. By Bolker. Yeah, I hear it. Yeah, but that's not going to be the case for everyone. Maignan is better than Onana. I don't know what's happened to Onana, but yeah, he's obviously fallen off a little bit. Maybe the Premier League just doesn't suit him. I don't know, but yeah, it is an interesting one, chat. It is an interesting one. Yeah, no, you're spot on there. We do some good stuff, and then we just do some absolutely baffling stuff, which literally makes no sense whatsoever. if you're going to sign him, if this is a big if, by the way, but if you're going to sign Emi Martinez, why would you just not keep? Why would you just not keep Petrovic? This is the thing. There's not really an outstanding goalkeeper out there. Instead of going to sign Martinez, if you do decide to do that, why would you just not keep Josh Acheampong? What the fuck am I talking about? I mean, why would you just not keep Petrovic? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much it does. And a goalkeeper we've seen before, chat, is so important. So important. I mean, yeah, look, no one's going to pay 40 million for him. No one's going to pay 40 million for him. No, we haven't seen enough of Jorgensen. We've seen bits, but we haven't really seen enough. However, for me personally, I think I'm prepared to stick with Jorgensen as a 2, but we need a big upgrade on number 1. Bro, we're not going to get Rodgers. But anyway, that's the latest on Martinez. Chelsea have received encouragement. Apparently, Enzo Maresca wants him, and Willy Caballero has approved it as well. Let's wait and see what happens. I think, Man United are perhaps more favourites for him. But again, they've got to move on Andre Onana in order for that deal to happen. But if we're getting any goalkeeper this summer, it should have been Mike Maignan. Otherwise, we may as well just keep Petrovic. That would just make the most sense, wouldn't it? That would just make the most sense to do that. I mean, look, if Martinez came in for a decent price, fair enough. I just think he's a goalkeeper that's on the way down. He's much better than what we've got, but I think he's on his way down. So for me, if it's a case of if it's Martinez or keep Petrovic, I would rather just keep Petrovic than sign Martinez and just do whatever you can. Do whatever you can with Robert Sanchez. Yeah, you would think so. You would think so. Although it wouldn't even surprise me if they then looked to sell Jorgensen or something and Sanchez stayed as a 2 and they sold Jorgensen and Petrovic. That couldn't be ruled out either, chap. That also couldn't be ruled out. But yeah, that's the latest there on who said we're getting Donnarumma? No, we're not getting Donnarumma. I mean, I'm not sure anyone said that, but no, Donnarumma is not coming to Chelsea, chat. Absolutely no chance is Donnarumma coming to Chelsea. Now, bro, none of us can have another season of Sanchez as number 1. None of us. So that's the latest on Emi Martinez and his future with Man United and Chelsea apparently offered encouragement from the camp of Emi Martinez. So let's wait and see. Let's wait and see what happens. We all want a new goalkeeper, whether that's Petrovic, which is very unlikely, whether it's Martinez, it's not going to be Maignan. And we have to wait and see, chat. We have to wait and see what is going to happen. Going to be very interesting. It begins to look like some individuals just want to stay at Chelsea for their own personal benefit, not about giving anything up like lifting. I don't think Jackson should go personally. But yeah, anyway, let's move on to Morgan Rogers because a lot of people are talking about Morgan Rogers. And they'd love Chelsea to get him. We would, but we've got to be honest with ourselves here. It was only if he becomes available. PSR situation. Villa are looking at selling their women's team to circumnavigate PSR issues, or they'll look to sell other players. Morgan Rogers is not for sale, despite interest from Chelsea and Arsenal. And from Villa's point of view, why should they accept less than the 100 million they got for Jack Grealish? And we've had other reports saying that Villa would want 90 million for Morgan Rogers, maybe a package worth £100 million total. I think we've got to do a frozen on this one, chat. We've got to do a frozen and let it go. We've got to do a frozen and let it go. Because I just don't see this happening whatsoever. I don't see it happening, chat. We're not going to commit £90 million or £100 million on Morgan Rogers. Because if you spend that money on Rogers, he comes in and he has to start. He comes in and he has to start. I like Morgan Rogers, by the way. I'm a fan of Morgan Rogers. But we got to be realistic. People saying we need another 10. Sure, we need a versatile forward. That's what we're looking at. And Mohamed Kudus, Joao Pedro, and Ekitike. Morgan Rogers was on the list as well. I mean, I would love us to have a look at someone like Eberechi Eze. I got absolutely cooked for that on Twitter yesterday. But there we go. I mean, yeah, Kudus would be a good option, chat. It would be an interesting option. But yeah, look, I think like with Osimhen stuff in previous times, chat, I think we need to let this Morgan Rogers stuff go. We need to accept that he's not leaving, or if he does leave, it's going to cost you 100. It's going to cost you 90 to 100 million, and we just aren't going to spend that money. It's very, very simple, chat. From where I'm looking at right now, very, very simple. Very, very simple. So, yeah, Rogers not for sale. And they want 100 million like they got for Jack Grealish. So, yeah. Bro, we're not going to get Konate. Konate is probably going to run his contract down and then he'll go and join Real Madrid on a free like Trent did. I suspect that's what's going to happen there. Yeah, no, of course we're not. We're not getting him. So the sooner people can just let that one go and stop thinking about it, stop mentioning Morgan Rogers. We know, chat. This is not happening. We know. We know. Nicolas Jackson in Barcelona, no. Leao, no. And then there was further updates on Nico Jackson in the same article, chat, that Nico Jackson is not, and let me repeat, is not a priority for Aston Villa. Is not. Nico Jackson is not thought to be a priority for Aston Villa. So there we go on that one. That could change later in the window, but right now, that's it. Leao, I at this point in time, chat, I'm not the biggest fan of Rafa Leao, but I wouldn't be against it, just given how really shit the left wing market is. I wouldn't be against that. Chat, we're 8 likes away from 100. Keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds to do. Let's run this up to 100 likes. Run it up, run it up, run it up. Keep smashing that like button, chat. Let's get it moving. And keep subscribing if you're new round here as well. Let's get some more subscribers on the board. Road to 20k. Run it up, run it up. Let's get it done. Subscribe and like the stream, people. It helps me out more than you can believe. Do you think with Sarr signing we won't go for any centre-back? We're going to get to that in a sec. Bro, Rogers would if Rogers arrived, he would be as a versatile forward. And he would provide cover on the left. He would provide cover in the 10. He would start on the left. He would start on the left wing for us. And I know he's not a natural. He's not a natural left winger. He's more of an inside 10. Rogers would be good for us on the left. He would offer us something that we don't have at this point in time. Look, I like Leao. He's got great ability, great talent, but he lacks consistency. And for someone at 26 years of age to still be as inconsistent as he is, that's a bit of a red flag for me. To still be that inconsistent at his age is a red flag. Is absolutely a red flag, chat. Yes, big up, big up, big up. So that's the latest on that. We're going to continue on for the latest installment in the Jamie Gittens saga, which, we have to be honest, chat, is so boring. It is so boring. This is from Christian Falk, who's like a Bayern Munich correspondent, Bundesliga insider sort of guy. Borussia Dortmund continue to demand a fee of 55.3 million, as we know. Chelsea are now ready to meet the Bundesliga side's demands. So if we're now ready to meet those demands, chat, what the fuck have we been negotiating and what the fuck have we been discussing? Because we clearly haven't negotiated anything here. We've negotiated nothing. We've gone to the table. They've said all along, we want 55 million. We said, no, we're not doing that. There's been zero negotiations in this deal because we're probably going to end up exactly what we're going to end up paying exactly what they want in the end anyway, which is going to be more than they are asking for before the Club World Cup, but we don't get the benefits of having Gittens for the Club World Cup. We didn't want to play a Club World Cup tax, apparently, but we're going to pay more than if we'd signed in before the Club World Cup. We have negotiated absolutely nothing here. Nothing, chat. What have we been... What the fuck have we been discussing with Dortmund? Like, what are we doing here? Like, honestly, our negotiating is horrendous. I mean, it's disrespectful to even call it negotiating because we're going to these clubs and we're having our pants pulled down, chat. We are having our pants fully pulled down. Fully pulled down, chat. Because what are we negotiating? If we're just going to end up paying what they want anyway. Why have we wasted so much time? We should have just, if you're interested, we should have just paid the fucking money. We should have paid the money and had him for the Club World Cup and forget it. No, because they're two separate deals. They're two separate deals. So it doesn't matter. But like, I just look at this and I just think, what the fuck? What the fuck are we doing, chat? I mean, we spent so long discussing with Dortmund and we're just going to pay what they want in the end anyway, it looks like. I don't understand it. Like, what have we spent all this time chatting about? What have we spent all this time negotiating for? We're negotiating fuck all. Yeah, I'm confused, chat. I'm just, I don't understand us. Like, you know, yeah, I'm just a bit baffled, chat. I was a bit baffled as to how we are longing out these negotiations. Like, what are we longing this out for? What will happen is we'll end up paying this £55 million and we'll wait and see how much of it is made up in installments and add-ons and whatnot, how much of it's up front. But ultimately, we're going to end up paying pretty much what Dortmund wanted in the end. So what was it just feels like we're wasting time in the window. If you were going to bid that money, then why did you not just bid that money before the Club World Cup, get it wrapped up, get him in for the Club World Cup, have him integrated into the squad, have him play because we only got 3 wingers and we're desperately short in the wide areas. Instead, we fucked about, wasted a load of time, and we're now going to pay more than what we wanted to pay for this guy, and we're not going to have the benefit of him being integrated into the squad at the Club World Cup, and he won't be able to play for us until August. So please explain to me, chat, how any of that makes any sort of sense whatsoever. Because if we were serious, Mike Maignan and Jamie Gittens would both be playing football for Chelsea right now in the Club World Cup. Because I guarantee you, if this was Manchester City and they were in our position, they would have signed Mike Maignan and they would have signed Jamie Gittens and they would have got good deals for them and they would be playing for their team now in the Club World Cup. But that's not us, chat. That is not us. That is not what we do. Because we are time wasters. We don't know what we're doing in the window. Unless it's a release clause, when was the last time we negotiated a decent deal? We massively overpaid for Caicedo because we fucked about. We overpaid for Enzo Fernandez because we fucked about. We are going to overpay for Jamie Gittens because we fucked about, thinking we can always get a deal on our terms. And this is the biggest problem, chat, with Chelsea and the way we negotiate and the way that we recruit, is we always think we think we're going to get someone on our terms every single deal. Every single deal. We think we're going to get it on our own terms. We're not. Bro, it's hard to overpay when the release clause is 5 million. You can't overpay. And let's lay off that. Future David Villa. I think we need to relax and just rein that in a little bit. A future David Villa. Let's not lose our whole minds here. So yeah, look, Gittens will end up happening. It'll probably happen next week because it'll be the new month, end of the financial year. They're probably going to wait until Dortmund have exited the Club World Cup, and then we'll maybe see a bit of movement there. And there we go. You know, yeah, just a lot of this shit don't make sense, chat. A lot of this just doesn't make sense. I mean, honestly. Bro, I'm not accepting any news from the Bundesliga. But we know they've always maintained they want the 55 million. We're going to end up paying that. Whether lots of it's in add-ons or not, let's wait and see. Let's wait and see. But the reality is that we're not getting the deal that we wanted. We didn't want to pay 55 million for Gittens. Of course we didn't. Well, let's wait and see how they turn out. Let's wait and see how they turn out. Let's wait and see how these lot turn out. Yeah, sure. Have you phoned Dortmund? Whatever it is, and whatever's made up in add-ons, we're going to spend at least 50 million quid on this guy. So you can cover it up. You can paint whatever picture you want with it. Yeah, right. I know at this point we're trolling here, so we're going to ignore those comments. We're trolling. We're trolling. But yeah, chat, over 200 in the building, only 106 likes. Please keep smashing that like button. It's free. It takes seconds. And the more likes something is, the more it gets boosted in the YouTube algorithm. So please smash up those likes. Please smash up those likes, chat. And keep subscribing as well if you're new. Those two things, 2 clicks of 2 buttons, massively would appreciate it. And it really helps me out more than you could imagine, chat. So please, let's do it. Please, let's do it. Run it up, run it up. No, look, I just like for some like if this was a 17-year-old from Brazil, this money would be paid and this deal would be done. This is what I don't this is what I don't understand. Is like some things we're shit hot and we're bang on it, but when it comes to improving players for the first, like getting players in for the first team to improve the first team, we don't seem to be that keen, chap. We don't seem to be that keen when it comes to that. And why is that? Why is that? That would be my question. Why is that? I just don't understand it. No, the lad doesn't need time because he knows the Premier League and he knows how Enzo Maresca plays because he's played under Maresca before. Santos is new to the squad. He's in with the squad for a couple of weeks. He needs to learn the way we play. And he's 21 years old. Let's just be patient with him. You know, he's not going to start regularly ahead of Enzo or Caicedo. He needs time to adapt. I haven't got an issue with it. Yeah, I would have liked to have seen him start against Tunis or at least come on at half time. But Santos does need a bit more time. Santos does need a bit more time. Bro, I'll mod you, bro. I mean, I don't know how many mods I've got, but there doesn't seem to be that many mods in the chat. I'll mod you up now, brother. I will mod you up now. Add as moderator. Yeah, bro, I've added you as a moderator. Sure. We'll add another mod. There we go. Right, we've got a couple more mods in there now. Yeah. Oh, let me get round to that. Let me get round to that. But yeah, the point is, chat, is that I don't understand why. I don't understand why we're wasting so much time on this. Why are we wait the time being wasted on this deal is a joke. It's an absolute joke. How long have we been interested in Gittens for? Back in January, we were interested in Gittens. Why is it taken so long? Why is it taking so long to do anything here? This should have been wrapped up so long ago. We got deals for Quenda and Asugu wrapped up in double time. We got wrapped up so quick. If we were this interested in Gittens and putting all this work in, why was this not done? Why is this not done now? That's what I'm not understanding, chat. Why is this deal not done? It's just so frustrating because we're just wasting fucking so much time. Bro, I don't need to be in England to work on deals. Dortmund are out in the US. We don't need to be in England to do deals. Yes, big up, brother. Big up. Yeah, run it up, chat. Run it up. Let's get these likes up. 170 in the building, 115 likes. Let's get this up to 130 likes. Come on, chat. Run it up, run it up. But yeah, look, I think, yeah, look, I wouldn't be against getting Fofana. I wouldn't be against getting Fofana. If we are going by who is up for sale, who are you picking out of this bunch? I mean, Donnarumma's not up for sale. Look, I don't think Yildiz is for sale either. But just for the sake of it, if you were serious, you'd be doing Mignan and Rodrigo. Like, if you were serious. But we've already established now, chat, we aren't serious. We've established we aren't serious, chat. Yeah, at this point in time, it's not looking good. I agree. We're coming up to the end of June. We're coming up to the end of June. Okay, so there's still plenty of time left. However, when they're briefing that they wanted the bulk of the squad at the Club World Cup and they wanted most of the business done by the end of June, and we've signed one player, they're bullshitting, aren't they? They are absolutely bullshitting. Bro, Fofana won't be a Strasbourg signing because Lyon are better than Strasbourg, so he's not going to be a Strasbourg signing. It could be. It could be. And maybe we're just waiting to announce it. I've got no idea. But the fact that this is still ongoing is not a good look, chat. It's not a good look. But there we are. You know, yeah. Bro, I don't think Rodrigo's overrated. You know, we've got to stop doing this. Oh, he didn't play that well in one game. Come on. We're better than this, bro. We're better than this. That they have. It's going to get. They will obviously appeal it. Let's wait and see what the outcome of the appeal is. But either way, they're going to need to sell players. No, good. Look, we're making a big mistake if we put Gusto as the Cucurella backup. We are making a big mistake. We're making a big mistake if that's the case. We would be making a big mistake. But we seem to do that quite a lot, chat. Making big mistakes seems to be our sort of forte. So yeah, bro. We should have. I don't know why we weren't at the table for the Turkey conversation. I don't know why we weren't at the table for that Turkey conversation, because we should have been at the table. We should have pulled our chair out. We should have had 2 feet under the table and tucked that fucking chair in. That's where we should have been for those conversations. This is bullshit. Two of us are spot on. Poor window. Yeah, we're gonna have to wait and see, bro. We're gonna have to wait and see. But so far, look, I want to preface this. There's a long way to go, by the way, chat. However, it is concerning when you see what Man City are doing, when you see what Liverpool are doing, you see Arsenal starting to click into gear now, making signings, and you look at what we're doing, and it's not matching what those guys are doing. How are we going to close the gap to Liverpool when they've added Kerkez, Frimpong, and Wirtz, and will probably add more, and we're adding people like Gittens? We just aren't closing the gap, are we, by doing that? We're just not. Yes, big up, big up. Well, I think we do have an alternative. And the alternative is Malik Fofana. That's the alternative. The alternative is Malik Fofana, chat. We know that. We know that's the alternative. Yeah, potentially could be, although he's never kicked a ball for the first team. So again, that would be quite a big risk as well. That would be quite a big risk as well, chat. There's no denying that. That would be a significant risk. Yeah, no one's really been linked with Kuba. I think he's at Real Sociedad. I mean, look, if he's got the choice to go to Liverpool, then I think he would take it. Yeah. So we're gonna wait and see what happens on that front. Sure, but I it's not. We can't be having a right back backing up a left back. We just can't be doing that, chat. We just cannot be doing that. It really is that simple. You need specialist players in those positions. You can't just think, oh, do you know what? We'll get by with a left back at right back. Nah, the right back at left back. Sorry, no, that's bollocks. It's bollocks, chat. It's bollocks. That Yerome signed the new contract. He signed a new contract, so that's not happening. Caleb Wiley, too young. And plus, he's also gone on loan to Watford again for the season. So, yeah, Caleb Wiley won't be backing up shit. Where do I think Osimhen and Gyökeres end up? Mate, I've got absolutely no idea. Part of me still thinks Osimhen could end up in Saudi. I wouldn't be surprised if they returned with another offer. Otherwise, maybe Galatasaray. But he's not nowhere in Europe outside of Turkey is going to give him anywhere near the amount of money that he wants. Nowhere is going to give him anywhere near the amount of money that he wants. Vega's gone. He wants to play centre back, and he's not going to do that at Chelsea. He doesn't want to play left back. But let's move away from this Gittens stuff, chat, and let's talk centre backs because it's gone a bit quiet on centre backs. It's gone a bit quiet on centre backs, chat. And it's seemingly looking like another option is off the market. Because it looks like we're not going to get Mark Guehi, but another name that we've been linked with and is now seemingly off the market is that of Jared Branthwaite and Everton. Now, I know a lot of people in the chat have been talking about getting Branthwaite, but that now looks unlikely, people. That now looks unlikely. Because Everton are in advanced talks over a new deal for Branthwaite, improved salary, and longer deal on the table. Whether that deal is going to have a release clause in it or not, I don't know. But it's pretty clear to see, chat, that I don't think Jared Branthwaite is going to be coming to Chelsea. That's not happening. That simply isn't happening. We could still get Guehi. We could still get him, although that is looking less and less likely now. And the centre-back market is dire. It actually isn't that good. When you look at it, Guehi's the obvious standout name and was clearly really the only viable option, or one of the only viable options. Then you're looking at players like, what's happened to Thomas Araujo? is there interest in Usman Diamonde still? Looks like he could be going to Crystal Palace. Branthwaite looks like he's going to sign a new deal. So we've got all these things to take into consideration here, chap. Mosquera, again, he's 20 years old, though. Like, if you've got Mamadou Sarr and Ansel Mina, you don't need another centre-back like Mosquera, 20 years old. You don't need another one like that. I suspect, chap, that I hope and I think Jarell Hato could be the guy for us, and he'll be the centre-back signing because he's a left-back who can play centre-back. Or they're looking for a left-side defender, Hato, and Mamadou Sarr will be the centre-back signing as such. So, yeah, I mean, there's really isn't that much interest in the centre-back. We should be snapping up Gurhi. I've said this so many times, but again, people are going to be bored of hearing me say that. But we should be all over the Mark Gurhi deal. I don't know why we're not. Chat. I really don't know why we're not all over the Mark Gurhi deal. Annoy him. Very annoying. Fuck's sake. I mean, who do you look at centre-back now? Yeah, bro, I like Hato. I like Hato. Yeah, people need to stop saying Bastoni. I don't know where this Bastoni stuff comes from, but people have got to stop with that Bastoni shit. It's not happening, chap. It's not happening. We got to get real here. The Bastoni stuff is not happening. It's not happening, chap. I don't know if we do need to sell before we can buy. I don't think that's that true, but we've got so many sellable assets, chap, that we will obviously sell a number of players, and that's just one aspect that we need to move on from. That's one aspect we need to get a move on with. What else is coming in? No Kim Min Jae, no Cambiasso, no. I just don't see how much he's going to play, though. That's the thing. I don't see how often Sarr is really going to play, chap. That's my problem there. How much is he going to really play? Hincapié is reportedly on Atletico Madrid's list. Their main target's Christian Romero, but they can't agree a deal for Romero. Then they're interested in Hincapié. Yeah, it's not. Ansel Mina's going to go on loan somewhere. So yeah, I don't really see him. I don't see Ansel Mina really having much of a future at Chelsea, if I'm perfectly honest. But all our centre backs are pretty much the same age. I mean, maybe we don't. I'm not really sure, but at least 3 are going to leave. I think Vega, Disasi, possibly Badiashile, maybe Trev as well. Look, Hincapié, yeah, we've been linked with him before. Let's wait and see. Yeah, bro. Yeah, he's on a climate adjustment program at Cobham. He's on a climate adjustment program at Cobham. Well, it appears like we have sort of just wasted Ansel Mina's time, chap. I hear you on that. It does feel like we've sort of wasted Ansel Mina's time. So yeah, not ideal. Not ideal at all. But yeah, I mean, centre back. I wouldn't be surprised if we ended up not signing another centre back, chap. I wouldn't be surprised at all. No, bro, he's not had it. That's because he's not had it. He hasn't played. He simply hasn't played. That's what's happened there. But yeah, I think we can safely rule out, chat. We can probably rule out any move for Jared Branthwaite. Any move for Branthwaite is going to be ruled out. So we wait and see. Yeah. Well, I just don't know, chat. The centre-back situation is just a bit baffling. We signed a young defender from Barcelona 4 years ago. A young defender from Barcelona. Chat, anyone know who that might be? A young defender from Barcelona. Who knows who that is? I agree. Massively improved as well over the second half of last season. He did have a few poor games and went through a difficult spell, but during the run-in and over the second part of last season, he did do really well. He did do really well. There's no denying that, chat. There is no denying that. He did do really well. Guys, keep smashing the likes, by the way. Run it up, run it up. We're on 129. Let's try and get this to 150, chat. Let's try and get this to 150. Smash up those likes. Let's get it to 150. Andreas Christensen. Yeah, I'm not really hearing it. Not now, anyway. Well, no, I wouldn't go that far, bro. I wouldn't go that far. Useful squad player, and I'm more than happy for him to be here as a squad player. But yeah, other than that, it's a no from me. I think he did an ACL, and now I think he's on the recovery, and I think he's been playing 21s and stuff. I don't really know too much with what's happened there. Yeah, he definitely isn't still knocking about. He definitely isn't knocking about anymore. But yeah. Yeah, he was sold, wasn't he? I did think that was the case, chat. I did think that was the case. Yeah, I had a feeling that might have happened. No, it's not massively high. It's not massively high, and I think that's absolutely fair. I think that's absolutely fair, chat. I think that's very fair. I don't think he is. I think Chalobah's better than Tosin. I don't know if that's true or not. I wouldn't be against getting a stake in Sporting Lisbon, no. Bro, that guy, he'll be gone. He's another one that will be gone. But yeah, no, it's going to be interesting, chat. It's going to be interesting. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what the rest of the summer's really got in hold for us. Let me know Gittens is going to come. I don't know who the the alternative is going to be. I don't know who the alternative is going to be, chat. I don't know who the alternative is going to be. Yeah, Chalobah's better than Tosin. Yeah, for sure. I don't think that's too difficult to agree on, guys. I don't think that's too difficult to agree on at all. I think Chalobah definitely better than Tosin. 100% chat. Yeah, I think Petrovic is leaving, Logan. I'm pretty certain that that's the case there. I think Liverpool probably finish above City. I think, although City will be serious next year. City will absolutely be serious next year, chat. There's no doubt about it. City will be serious next year. I agree. The Petrovic situation is piss poor. The Petrovic situation absolutely is piss poor. There's no denying that whatsoever. No denying that whatsoever. Petrovic situation, shite. I don't think we're going to get another out-and-out 9. We'll get a versatile forward who can be an option as number 9. That's what we'll get. There won't be. I don't think there'll be another out-and-out 9. I really don't. So I'd like to predict what I think we're going to do. Some sort of left-sided defender. Gittens. And maybe Kudos. And I think that'll probably be it. I think there's 3 more signings left for us this summer in terms of improving the actual first team. I think there's 3 more signings left in us this summer, chat. Excuse me, yeah, 3 more signings, I reckon. Bro, Firmino's not going to Madrid. That's why. He's going to Al Sadd in Qatar. That deal's agreed. He's going to Al Sadd in Qatar. And yeah, he's going to continue securing the bag for himself. Fair play to that, brother. No, people want Petrovic. Monaco are interested. There's Premier League interest in Petrovic. Milan have been looking at Petrovic as well. There is interest in Petrovic. I agree, bro. I agree. Price would have to drop quite a lot. I think 3 more players will come in. I don't think that's a ridiculous thing to say. I think 3 more will come in, chat. I think 3 more will come in. Yeah, this is a good question. I've got no doubt we'll get some of these players moved on, but where they're going to end up is going to be interesting. Possibly could be. Let's wait and see what happens. But yeah, I agree that possibly could be viewed as being priced out. I hear it. I think that's absolutely fair. Could 100% be priced out, chat. Nah, Sterling will just be a contract termination potentially, or I don't know what. But I don't think we're going to contribute to his wages. We're not going to contribute to his wages again. But yes, I agree, bro. Some of our asking prices are a joke. Some of our asking prices are an absolute joke for some of our players. So yeah, that does remain to be seen. That does remain to be seen, chat. Well, I don't know. Manyan would be a better signing. He's younger and he'll be cheaper. Yeah, bro. Yeah, Nkunku's a 40 million player. Nkunku 100% is a 40 million player. Chat, with 13 likes away from 150. Run it up. Keep smashing that like button and keep subscribing. if you are new round here. Would be greatly appreciated. Run up the subscribers chat. Run it up, run it up, run it up. So keep subscribing and keep smashing those likes, people. We'd greatly appreciate it. Yeah, I don't really know what we're going to do about the Sterling situation. That is going to be an interesting situation. Bro, there's nothing to drag. They've got their valuation. If it's not met, they'll keep him and they'll try and agree a new deal, or they just lose him on a free. You know, I think they're happy to do that. So, yeah, it is what it is on that front. It is what it is on that front. Where does Chile end up? I don't know. Brentford, Palace, maybe. I don't know, to be honest, mate. I really don't know. It is going to be interesting to see. Like, it is going to be interesting to see where these guys end up, because there's not been an awful lot of links. There's not been an awful lot of links with our outbound players, chat. There's not been an awful lot of links. So we have to wait and see. We do have to wait and see. Yeah, you sort of forget about some of these guys. Nah, bro, Felix under no circumstances can be staying. Under no circumstances can Joao Felix be staying, chap. Under zero circumstances. He will be gone. He will be gone. It's a possibility, yeah. It's a possibility. We've heard nothing about him. I think loan or sale. It will be loan or sale. Yeah, I'm not really too asked about Sancho now. He's nothing to do with us anymore. But yeah, this will be loan or sale for these guys. It will be loan or sale for these guys, chat. Nah, bro, I think both Felix and Nkunku will be gone. I don't see either of them staying. And if one of them stays, Nkunku's far more likely to stay than Joao Felix is. Far more likely to stay. That's the reality of that situation. That is the reality of that situation, chat. So we'll wait and see, guys. We will wait and see. Yeah, I don't know where Felix is going. I don't know where a lot of these guys are going, chat. But I'm confident we will find moves for these guys, and we will get players out. You know, that's something I'm never worried about with Chelsea, is selling players. Where they end up or what fees we get, I don't know. But we are going to get players out. We will sell players. So let's wait and see. Yeah, he's been linked to Benfica, Galatasaray, and some lot. So yeah, there we are, chat. There we are. Let's have one quick look if there's any other stuff. Do I miss Mountain and Gallagher? No, I don't. Let's have a look if there's any other bits and pieces that have come through in the last couple of minutes, chat. If not, I'm going to round this one out here. Don't think there is. Right, we're going to round this one out here, chat. Big up to everyone who's locked in this afternoon. Appreciate each and every single one of you. Please smash the likes on the way out. 3 likes from 150. Smash the likes. Subscribe if you're new around here. Another day looks like going by and still no agreement for Jamie Gittens. But chat, enjoy the rest of your Friday afternoon. Enjoy whatever you're doing. I'll be back later on if we get any major news. If not, see all you lot tomorrow for a stream before the match, and I might do a watch along if I'm about. If not, catch you in a match reaction as well. But yeah, anyway, chat, smash the like, subscribe, all that good stuff. Enjoy the rest of your day. Up the Chelsea, and I'm out. Love.